Hey there, this is Roxie Beckles. I am here in Venice, California at Gold's Gym, the mecca of bodybuilding. And I am 6 weeks out from Team Universe, and this is my training video. So today I am doing a total body circuit, and the end of my workout is going to tie in some upper body. I typically have been sticking to a lot of very athletic training over the last couple of weeks as I prep for my upcoming show. This first circuit that I'm starting with is actually more focused on power and some stability. So the first exercise that I'm doing today is actually a hang clean with a front squat. The reason why I love this exercise is because it's super explosive, it's super hard, and that makes it super fun. And for me, it's one thing to be a competitor and to call yourself an athlete and to look like an athlete than it is to be someone who's actually athletic and who is functional and who can do things. I've always had this sort of fantasy of being a real-life Wonder Woman. So although my overall goal is to step on the stage my absolute best, my other goal is to try to be the fastest, strongest, most powerful, woman that I can be and take my body to its fullest potential. So this first exercise that I'm starting with, the hang clean, kind of ties all that stuff. It's in there. It's an Olympic lift. I'm not perfect with it. I actually started adding this into my program as I began more in the pre-contest stage of my program. It's definitely a full body exercise. It focuses on explosive power, overall strength, stability. You've got the arms working here, you've got the back, you've got the glutes, you've got the hamstrings, you've got the core. Pretty much all the muscles that are looked at when you're on stage being judged by the judges in a figure competition. So what better way than to get them working all as one unit. The second exercise in my power circuit is the trap bar Romanian deadlifts. I love deadlifts. Deadlifts, if you can deadlift, you can do anything. And right now, because I have actually another show that I am training for, and I'm 3 days out from that show, so I can't go as heavy as I normally am used to. However, I kept this one in my program because it's a great exercise to work the glutes. You've got the hamstrings involved. You've got the lower back involved, the core as well with some stabilization, and you also get the lats and the triceps. You get everything. So everything posteriorly gets full work in a deadlift. So for me, I like to do it with the trap bar just because it poses another way of challenging the body. You don't always have to do deadlifts with a straight Olympic bar. So I just added it in there for some variety, and it's a little bit harder. Today I'm actually going pretty heavy, but I'm doing low reps because, again, I don't want to tire my body out. My next exercise is a renegade row. Now this exercise really gets the core going, and I keep saying that a lot. I don't really specifically target abdominals. For me, your abs are made in the kitchen. So if you're going to see my abs, it's because my diet is on. But, working the deep transverse layers of the abdominals is important because that's what gives you that erect posture and everything else that's important for the rest of my strength work. So this particular exercise really zeroes in on my core, but it also works my back. It's definitely more of a stabilization kind of exercise, especially since I'm going a little bit light and I'm going higher reps with this. I'm doing about 12 reps with this one and just about 2 to 3 circuits through with the entire program. The last exercise in my power stabilization circuit is a centipede walkout with a side plank up to triple extension. None of my exercises have any cool names. They're just called what the motion is. So sorry that it has a long name. But in any case, again, this is one of those exercises that's a stabilization exercise that's kind of challenging my body from head to toe. It's definitely a functional type of exercise, a more advanced functional exercise. Basically, I'm walking out into a plank very quickly, going into a side plank, so that way I'm working my shoulders and my back. Again, very important figure girl muscles, taking it back up to standing. But before I get to standing, I go into a triple extension, which is all the way up on my toes, basically arms up overhead. I added that little move at the end just to keep it more in the power paradigm. It keeps my heart rate up throughout the entire circuit, and just to keep the challenge on, especially given that this is the last week and I want to tie everything in as much as I can. So this second thing that I'm doing now is more of a strength circuit. So the exercises in this one for today, because again I am 3 days out from my next show, is actually going to be moderate weights with about a rep range that's a little bit on the higher end for what I'm used to. I'm doing about 15 to 20 reps for each exercise. The first exercise that I'm doing here is a horizontal rope pull down. I took it on the horizontal plane because it's a little bit more challenging than doing it on the vertical plane. Of course, I have to really stabilize my back when I do this one, and it's a very good exercise for actually targeting your lats. Just a different way of hitting the same exercise that a lot of people are used to doing at a different angle. With this particular, since this is more of a strength circuit, and like I said, I'm staying higher reps with this one, I'm doing about 20 reps here. As you'll notice, this is definitely more of an upper body circuit for me today. So I'm moving into the second exercise, which is a standing lat pull down. Traditionally, you see people doing a lot of this one sitting down, especially if it's an overhead cable machine. I'm doing it standing because I want to activate my core and I want to just bring a new challenge to the workout. It's pretty much performed the same way you would do a normal lat pull down. You have to really stabilize your body so that way you don't go flying with the weights. Again, for this particular circuit, I'm keeping it relatively on the moderate side as far as the intensity of the weights is concerned, and I'm keeping it at a high rep range of about 15 to 20 reps. The third exercise in my upper body circuit is a javelin overhead press with reverse lunge. Now, this is one of those exercises that's definitely an advanced functional exercise. I tend to really like integrated movements at this point in my training, in this pre-contest point, just because it helps to keep my heart rate up, helps to keep my metabolism nice and fired up as well. And that also for me equals less cardio, because I actually hardly do any cardio throughout my entire prep. Like when I say hardly any, I'm talking about like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of intervals, 20 minutes if you're lucky to get me to do that much. But in any case, this exercise in particular is a shoulder exercise when you really break it down. And it adds the legs, the lower body for an added advanced component to it. It's pretty tough when you do it with the reverse lunge because you have to have kind of a punch to get the weight up overhead. There's no momentum in it at all, so it has more of a power base to it. But again, I kept the weights a little bit light, so I was able to complete about 12 reps with this. And the other arm, the reason why it's called a javelin push is because the other arm is extended. So this one, both arms get work during this entire thing. And if you ever watch someone throwing a javelin in track and field, the arm is actually placed at that angle, so that's where the javelin part comes in. So the fourth exercise in my upper body circuit is a squat with a bicep curl, but I'm taking a little twist with it. So this exercise, the main objective is definitely the bicep curl. This one gets a little bit tricky because momentum could help you with this exercise, and that's what you definitely don't want. So you kind of have to stop the momentum when you get into the squat and try to power up into that bicep curl. The twist in there is another great component to this because, again, I get to work my abdominals indirectly without having to do 1,000,002 crunches. And for me, I like exercises that give me the best bang for my buck. I do not like to spend hours upon hours upon hours in the gym. I like to go in there, jam out, and have fun. So this is one of those integrated movements that allows me to do just that. And again, at this point in the game, it's all about, burning as many calories as I can in as least time as possible. So while I'm working, so the objectives of this exercise basically focuses mostly on the biceps, but it brings a total body aspect to it as well. And here we are at my final exercise in my circuit. And this is just a plain old tricep extension. And we all know this one. This exercise targets right there at the back of the arms, those triceps. I also, for me, I really try to stay as stable as possible and try not to lean too far forward into this exercise. And I start really kicking up the delts in there. So I think that this exercise has been explained ad nauseum, so I don't have to go into why I do it. I do it because it's fun and my arms look good. And I really want great triceps, and that's about it. So yeah, this is the last exercise in my circuit, the tricep extension. This next show that I'm prepping for, this next NPC show that I'm prepping for is actually only my third show. I've been competing for about less than a year. I've been working out for like 13 years, but I've been competing for less than a year. My first show, I had placed second in my class, which was really great. And then my second show, I decided to do, just a little show on the East Coast because my family was out there and nobody would see me. Yeah, that show was the Eastern USA's, not so little. But I ended up placing third in my class out of 19 women, so I felt really encouraged to kind of see how far I can take it. I qualified for the national level my first time out, so I already decided that I wanted to do Team Universe. So that's kind of my competition history. So it's been, I guess, I don't know, 8 months. 8 months. I got second and third place. Not so bad. I'm looking for a first and an overall. So if you found my little segment here very entertaining, I have even more entertainment for you. You can check out my YouTube channel. It is www.youtube.com/rockstarfitness, ROXSTAR Fitness 1, number 1. So Rockstar Fitness 1. And there you can actually watch my documentary series called The Competitive Edge, One Woman's Journey to IFBB Pro Figure Status. And the interesting thing about that segment is that it chronicles my journey as a figure competitor, and I even have like from when I first began, so it's actually evolving into something quite cool. It's captured me from the beginnings of my training in the sport to now where I'm about to compete on the national level for a pro card, so you might want to check that out. You can also catch me at roxiebeckles.com, that's ROXIE Beckles, BECKLES.com, and that's my personal website with my blog and pictures of me that you can put on your wall and all that other good stuff. So yeah, please definitely come by, say hello, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you around the gym sometime. Oh, and by the way, before we go, I would love to thank Muscular Development for giving me this opportunity to share my workouts, share my story. And I'd like to thank Gold's Gym here in Venice Beach, California, the Mecca of Bodybuilding, my home gym, and that's it. I hope you guys have a great day.